Pisces, welcome to 2025, January. You're going to have a lot of focus on yourself. It's going to be a time where you're going to go in to ask yourself, what do I truly desire? What do I really value? What do I love about myself? And what do I want to love about life? And what do I want in this life that is going to bring me some measure of not just pleasure and satisfaction, but deeper joy and spiritual connection? It's a very unusual sky that's forming for you starting in January, and it will be kind of haunting you for the next 3 months. So we're going to break it down. There's a lot of other little details, and the devil is in there, and we'll break down every planetary motion for the month of January. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac. And if you're a regular, welcome back. We have very much the idea that we want to help you navigate your best life using astrology, time your life like a navigational device on the high seas of reality. And if you like that kind of content, very hopefully useful for you, check out my 2025 All Signs Bundle or individual signs. They're 2-hour videos. They're on sale. Ho, 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 Santa Claus holiday sale, still on sale. You get a PDF download written by me, one for each sign, separate content. You've got the energy of a 2-hour video that you can watch on an unlisted link or download the audio format or video format as well to your device. So there you go. And it helps you raise funds for time stampers, microphones like this baby here, and other things that I need to work this channel, including time stampers and video editors. So thank you. It's my yearly end of year fundraiser. All right, let's get going and talk about what's going on for you. First of all, I'm going to show you this guy, which is probably a good idea because I'm looking really puffy today. This was like after eating cheese, pizza and cheese, whatever, cheese and meat. Not always the best combination. This is a morning recording. And here we have the sky with a Pisces on the eastern horizon. And you're going to notice here that 4-1, that as we begin the year, we have planets in various positions. And most importantly, the nodal axis is shifting. That's one of the major things that happens for you. The North Node moves into your sign, and that's a game changer. Because over the next year and a half until middle of 26, you will be feeling as if it's all about you, and in a good way. Oops, let's put that North Node back in. Baby, come on back. There we are. And in essence, you become very much a vehicle for your own destiny. There's like a channel of destined or fated or soul contract energy moving through you beginning January the 11th, when the node of fate leaves Aries, where maybe it has been expanding your sense of woes around your face or your dietary style, or destined changes in your earnings and financial strategies have been ongoing since midsummer of 2023, and helping you heal a chironic wound around values, money, possessions, earnings, resources. But that's done. That's kind of an old story. And here we start January, and in comes that node of fate into the sign of Pisces. Now, if you're listening for your rising sign, it is everything about you, because that's your avatar in the game of life. If you're listening to the sun sign, it connect you to your truest self, but also matters that connect to purpose for being on the planet and your career as well. And the moon can be about your body, sometimes your home, your nest, etc. So as the North Node is moving through your moon or your sun or your Pisces placements, pay attention. This North Node is going to really radically shift who you think you are in a way the North Node did in the past. For example, mid-2006 to mid-2008 was the last time this energy field was around you. It's very different in 25. It's got a real complicity and support from an exalted Jupiter in Cancer that we haven't seen for more than 100 years. So this is why I really want you to pay attention to the year ahead, because it's a very important one for you. It's going to be a game changer. Cliche, but true. I'm going to say you're going to get back in touch with joy, play, pleasure, fun, creativity, romantic love in a destined fated way, and things just shift. Like, you are not the same person. You could not know what this is like because you've never had it before. So I'm not going to go into much more detail now. I'm going to be putting out a separate video about the nodal shift shortly in the first week of January, and we're going to focus on the Jupiter exaltation for 25, and that's something you definitely want to watch. Okay, so please like or subscribe or hit that bell for notifications, and check out my description box for all the deets you need. Now look, Pisces. First of all, you've been dealing with Saturn moving through the first house. Let's start there. When I do my monthly videos, I start off by talking about where the planets are, and then we move into the chronology. In the beginning of 2023, in March 23, Saturn entered into your Pisces zone. If it's your moon in Pisces, you're in the apex of a sati sate, a period of great transformation, trial and tribulation, but it also can bring you great worldly success or just some kind of success in general. So you have to know that for your Pisces moon, sun and rising. Well, it's your career that's being Saturnized, or your identity. Saturn is the taskmaster, the Yoda, the sagacity, the old wise man and woman, but he's also the constrictive and the constraining. And you might have had to deal with depression, anxiety, nostalgia, melancholy, aloneness, loneliness. These are some of the other sides of Saturn. And he's been in this part of your sky since 2023. He leaves full time in February 26th. Backdrop story. You get some relief this summer. Yes, you do. Well, for about 4 months, he gets the hell out of your sign. You get a little bit of a break. But don't be afraid of Saturn. Don't fear the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper. You know that song? Because he's here to give you what you need. He's giving you a backbone, and he's giving you the realism and the solidity that is something that everyone in life needs. So Saturn is in this place still. Keep that in mind. Jupiter, he's moving through your 4th house, luck with home, property, real estate. Inheritances or legacy wealth from your family, or if you're married, your partner's family may have come to you as this Jupiter transit activated for you in the third week of May 2024, and completes June the 9th. And you go, oh, I don't have anything yet. Well, don't despair. He's been retrograding since October 9th. He does go direct again, hallelujah, on February 4th. So between February 4th, because now he's deepening your bounty in your home, property, land, real estate, or what you do in the home as you ponder truth, wisdom, and goodness in the home. But he's going to go direct on February 4th. And in that way, February 4th to June the 9th, you could still come into some kind of financial abundance connected to property, land, real estate, legacy wealth, etc., and possibly even money connected to your partner, the significant other in your life. Next, we have the movement this month of Mars retrograding in your 6th house as we begin the month. The only thing I will say about this, and we'll break it down a little more in the chronology, of course, is he's opposite Pluto, and that is to be careful with your health the first week of January. Be careful for injuries, falling, heat, inflammation, rashes. Just be careful. Is it time to lay low, nurture your body, and not take any daredevil moves that could hurt you? That's all I'll say for now. One thing I want you to know is that Mars had entered your 6th house of health and work back in November 4th, and he exits on January 6th. So is that window of time, any of these harm to body or health challenges may already have arisen, or changes in work, or desire to quit your job, or cut away or eliminate a rental agreement for a property you might live in or rent out, or even some harm to a pet. Those are things that Mars might have caused difficulty in, although he is in the house of his joy in the Hellenistic tradition and can mean working hard and succeeding at something. He does retrograde on January 6th into your 5th house. From the place of your 5th house, he'll be there until April 18th. He's now dealing with your children, your creative projects, your entrepreneurial business endeavors. He's dealing with your romantic life, and he can bring passion and romance back to a dead and dormant love life. So especially when he goes direct February 23rd through to middle of April, you could get all fired up again in the romance in an existing relationship, and those embers and sparks may return. You can be very competitive and get your competitive spirit back, your game playing spirit, your sporty spirit back as well because of this position. Now, when Mars is here and he's retrograde, don't make any major decisions about your children, about romantic partnerships. If anything, partners from the past, romantic lovers from the past, partners from the past could come back to you out of the woodwork. I'm here. January 6th to February 23rd. I want to talk. I want to get in touch with you again. When he goes direct February 23rd, then things to do with decisions regarding children, pregnancy, fertility, creative art projects, business projects, you can go forward with a certainty that what you want to do and what direction you want to take and actions you want to take will be centered in a robustly solid Mars energy that has made up its mind. Your children can have a lot of challenges with this transit because it's Mars in the sign of his detriment. So your children may be going through breakups, separations with their partners, emotional distress, emotional flying off the handle. So if you're there to support your little ones or your adult children going through this time, this is a good idea. Jupiter will come in there in June and smooth it all out anyway. But for the shorter term, your children could be feeling really turbulent. Now, let's talk about Mercury and Venus. Mercury first, Venus next. Mercury has been spending a dog's age, November, December, in your 10th house. He will get out of there on January the 8th, and that's because of retrogradation. You've been back and forth about what you want to do with your work. Do you have a job? Do you want a job? Do you need a career? How do you define success? What are you thinking about up there in the top of the sky? Mercury is ideas, thinking, decisions when you have to ponder them and mentally sometimes. So he's been back and forth at the top of the sky, and now he's moving into your house of career gains. All this stuff is to say January 8th to the 27th, you're likely to be able to now begin to do something for your career gains. Okay, like put a product out there if you're an entrepreneur, apply for a job, ask for that raise or promotion, whatever's going on. Mercury wants to negotiate it. The deal, the art of the deal, the 11th house of career gains is activated. You also may have some commercial success from an elder sibling, assistance from an elder sibling, one above you. You could also be very busy with new ideas about what your long range goals and plans are, and you sort of formulating a new life direction, January 8th to the 27th. Now, Venus is a story, okay? Venus is like a hot mess in the spring. She's like, what the hell? She's so busy. She's retrograde. She's star pointing. But why does it matter? She spends a lot of time in the sign of you. And this is not that common. Yes, 8 years ago, she did the same kind of duration of time in Pisces. So listen to this time, okay? January 3rd to February 3rd, she's moving in direct motion through your sign. But she comes back March 27th to May 1st because of the retrograde. So it's Act 1, January 3rd to February 9th. You'll have to go back and rethink some things that she's putting in place here. Number one, beauty. She probably wants you to get your hair done, fix your hair January 3rd, or your face, or cosmetics, or a new wardrobe, or, that kind of normal Venusian. It's exalted. So don't skimp on that haircut. Go to like the most posh salon you can find. Get that quality garment that you've always wanted. But on the other hand, Venus in Pisces is deeply spiritual, and she's looking for the vibration of higher love. And as she does it, she keeps looking over at the marriage house. And there's a sense that she wants to qualify the marriage and make it more true, good, lofty, spiritual, a sacred love. If you're in a relationship, she keeps looking over at the marriage house going, is this a sacred love? Are we there? So you might be very much tinkering with your significant love relationship during this time. Keep that part in mind as well. You might be having a higher standard than your partner for what this relationship should have. If you're single, then you look through new lenses at dating. You want that spiritual connection. You want that deeper love. Now, she comes into contact with Saturn, and she gets besieged between malefics, etc. We will cover that in the breakdown. So I'm going to give you advice now, just in case you forget. Please be careful around the 18th, 19th of the month to February 1st, because that's when she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And you may feel stalled out. You may not know what you want, desire, what you value. You might have a window of time where you feel bad about yourself because you don't feel as luminous and beautiful and charming as you think you should be, or you may be going through a rough patch in an existing relationship. So there's nothing to do, just like sit with it. Do not make major, frustration decisions. Just know that there's a window of constriction for Venus in that time frame. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the month bit by bit. I'm going to attempt, of course, to spin the wheel. Now, spinning the wheel is never the easy part, but bear with me when I don't have a way to pin it to the eastern horizon. Let's start off by talking about January 1st to the 4th, or 3rd, really. Well, the 3rd. We'll go January 1st to January 6th. Mars is opposite Pluto. What should you do with this energy? What can you do with this energy? All right. Mars-Pluto opposition. It's sort of as if there is some possibility. He's already been in the 6th house of work and health and pets and rentals already, right? Since November 4th. And you're going back to the area of the sky that represents that first week of November. So what was going on then that might need to be readdressed, to do with work, pets, health, work routines, situations with rental properties. But there can be either formidable determination and willpower by you, or there can be conflict and power struggles between you and a landlord, you and a hidden enemy, you and your own self undoing. Pluto's in the house of self undoing. So just get through that. I would be saying be careful with risky behaviors that could injure yourself, and don't go into places where you're going to like catch the latest wave of whatever disease is going around, because Mars rules inflammation, including fevers. So just take the first week of January, and if you can, just sit, lay low, and be calm and lay low. Okay. When we move into January 4th to the 6th, the Capricorn Sun sextile Saturn, that is a beautiful energy of reliable stability in some area of reality for you. That's going to be your career gains and the sort of solar energy of what your soul wants you to do for career success or purpose. And in that regard, the flow to Saturn is you. You are the taskmaster. You are the sage-like wise one who knows now what she or he wants to do in that career gain house. And trust me, it looks like a good thing. It is accepting the job, up-leveling, making a stabilizing decision around your career financial gains and what you can achieve in a realistic and reliable manner. When we move into the next part of the sky, it's just January 10th to the 14th. You have a beautiful mystical trine between Neptune in the sign of Pisces, flowing to that retrograde Mars, who will have slid into the 5th house. Now, this can be really good developments or positive news or developments with one of your children that feels really enchanted and positive, or it could be that you're going to have a very spiritual, sexual event occur, like, a spiritual awakening during, a romantic, sexy time. Or maybe there's some kind of cherished vision or goal you've been ruminating and want to accomplish with a realistic side to it with Saturn, Neptune, a dream that you wish to make true. And Mars wants to support that from the house of artistic, creative projects and entrepreneurial businesses. The muse is waking up, but you're almost channeling her. It's a very creative cauldron here. Use it, journal, do a vision board, do something that enchants you creatively on the January 10th to the 14th time. In the same window of time, the sun increases its intensity as it approaches the fixed star Algol and the shocks and surprises of Uranus. This is a story that could look a lot like, because it is flowing in Earth, a prosperity surprise. Something comes up and boom, you better than you expected in career gains connected to surprises and wealth. Now, the 3rd house is brick and mortar business, but it's also our online digital media and social media platforms, including your website. And you might have a very positive surprise by some kind of cash flush, positive energy coming from career gains if you do your career online. A surprising opportunity to travel vis-a-vis a friend or a sibling, especially the sibling younger than one older, saying, I'm coming to visit, or you're going to go visit them. That wouldn't be outside the box either. That could happen. So our surprising travel opportunities with siblings, with friends, especially friends from childhood. So this is coming through your sky around January, more closely to the 15th, 13th, 14th of the month, but it's there, 10th to the 14th. On the 13th, there is a full moon in the sign of Cancer, big light shining in your 5th house of children. Full moons shine light to reveal what was not seen. Do you know if you're going to be a grandparent? Is there a baby on the way from one of your children? Are you going to conceive a child? Did you know you're pregnant? Otherwise, a full moon can light up love. Romantic love becomes full, ripe, and juicy. And of course, with Mars there, it gets really passionate. But there's also emotional connection, because this is a very emotional sign. And so deep emotional connection, some sexy time, some fullness here. But the full moon isn't just about the 13th of the month. Goodness gracious, no. It's about the next 6 months. What seeds did you plant in the artistic, entrepreneurial, creative house? Or did your children, or did you around conception? Because now there's a fulfillment of that seed. And so you can say in the 6 months that follows the 13th of January, you may conceive a child, conceive a book, a creative project can be born and fulfilled, like really completed. An entrepreneurial business idea can be fully fleshed out over the next 6 months, completion, fulfillment energies. January 14th to the 16th, we have a Venus square Jupiter. And while it is a difficult energy, the square, the benefics work together to create something that you must decide on, an action, a decision that must be taken with sometimes some urgency when you see these two in a square. And so what does it mean exactly? Well, Mars again in the house of creative projects and entrepreneurial businesses, and Venus still not wedged in a hard place. She's still fine, okay? She hasn't gotten smashed up between Rahu and Saturn. So we have a very strong, exalted Venus in the sign of you. She's in her A game, and she's saying over to Mars, we got some work to do. Let me cue it to a closer cue of the time of January 14th to the 16th. Oh, we lost your sign again. This will continually happen. Sorry about that. I can't get you back without moving to the minute, so give me a second. Yes, I would ask Astro Gold to give us the option to pin our zodiac to a sign. Thank you, Astro Gold. Would you do that? I can pin Aries only. Ugh. There we go. So Venus is 13 degrees. Where am I? Am I in January? Square. What am I doing? Venus squares Jupiter. Okay. Oh, Jupiter. Yeah. So there's Jupiter at 11 degrees. There's Venus at 13. So you'll see her. Oh, just trust me. I can't spin this dial. January 14th to the 16th, the square is highly activated. What does it mean between Venus and Jupiter? You can have an exalted opportunity to expand or grow or some luck regarding homeland, property, real estate, and legacy wealth. You can also get bounteous and prosperous from something that you've initiated that you really desire and want to have experience from a sense of exalted enjoyment and pleasure in the home. So it's a prosperity, luck, home, you. That's the best I can give you. Something good is happening for you. It's happening in and from or about your home. It could be things you do in the home. It could be about your home. Now, Jupiter rules children. He's the Karaka for children. And like you could have children, but you could have children visit the home, or you could find out there's going to be more children in the family. And again, is somebody going to create, or one of your siblings having another child, and now you have a niece, or one of your kids having a kid, and you're going to have another grandchild. That kind of vibe is in the sky around the 14th to the 16th. On the 15th to the 16th, and like a little bit on the outer edge, Mars gets into an argument, okay, a fight. Mars is going to have a fight with the sun. This energy is explosive. It is combative. It is pitting you against something else. You in your work and career against your creative entrepreneurial projects. Your children, adult or little, are having an explosive moment in their lives. Particularly like your kid, if you have a little one, comes home and says, "Oh my God, I just got mean guy, picked on me in the playground, bully, he picked on me." So you don't be surprised if the 15th to 16th of January, an adult child or a little child tells you about an adversarial moment that they encountered, and you're just having to watch from the sidelines and give them some exalted Venus love. Okay, it could just be that simple. January 8th, or you may have a conflict with a sibling one older than you, right? Or a sibling two younger than you during this window of time. January 18th to the 20th, Venus will come into a conjunction with Saturn, well, sextiling Mercury. Can we get this to go forward without losing it again? So Venus is going to talk in some way here. Let's get her all queued up to Saturn by becoming one with Saturn. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's an initiation that lasts a year. You had this initiation last winter. You'll have it again in the winter of 2020. Oh, brain come online, 2026. This conjunction happened again in like 93, 4, 5 when we had Saturn moving through Pisces. So it's back again. And so you have 3 times every 30 years. And it's what do you want to do with the idea of love and beauty and friendship and kindness and peace and harmony and lasting, enduring qualities? Because Saturn says it's got to go the distance. It's got to be perseverant and enduring. So love is hard, but love endures. Now, this could be about your marriage. because this is a Saturn Venus looking across at the marriage house, right? Or if you're not with someone, you could bring in a new relationship, but with someone older than you or younger by 7 years over the next year. So it's a synodic cycle, but you're asking yourself to question love. You want dreamy soulmate, kindred soul love, Venus, Neptune, Venus, Neptune, Venus, Neptune since 2011, and telling you to find your soulmate. But this is where you get practical and realistic about it. You've got this kind of, rose colored glasses, take me off. I'm no longer waiting around for, this unrealistic development. I need to get down to earth about it. Got to get my realistic, sober-minded self involved in how I approach my marriage. Because honestly, guys, if you're with a partner, you're probably noticing that starting in 2023, when sober-minded Saturn entered here and Venus kept saying hello, that suddenly you're like, this is a hard relationship. I'm not having any fun. I can persevere, I can persist, but do I want to? And so you're going to ask that question over the next year, but also it's good for you physically too. I mean, if you feel like aged or old, Venus comes up to Saturn and says, aging beautifully, aging gracefully, beautiful beauty and age and wisdom all become one. So you can come to terms with your, age in some way, or you're eldering out, even if you're young. These days, young people are thinking they need to get Botox when they're 12. It's ridiculous. I've never done anything cosmetically, guys. Just eat well, exercise, and live life with joy. And have wine now and then. The wine lover's middle way. Hang on, I need water. Let's keep going. And Mercury helps out. Mercury says, hey, you can feel better about your life in an enduring, loving way by listening to advice from a sibling, one older, or a friend, or you can feel just better about your life in an enduring, loving way and more prosperous and wealthy if you want to initiate a project that connects you to your house of great gains. It could be a new job. It could be a project you're going to put into the marketplace, something like that. And when we have this wedge forming between the nodes of fate and the sun, a destined turning point in what you truly wish to achieve in your life, what kind of, don't chase the paper. Money isn't everything. What is the thing that you really want as a soul to see happen for your life's purpose? And you're going to quander and ponder that as well around this January 18th to 20th timeframe and come up with the answer. January 21 to 22, we see Mars sextiling Algol Uranus. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's flowing energy. And we should say thank you. Mars will talk here from your house of children and your creativity and your entrepreneurial stuff. And he's going backwards. You might go back to old entrepreneurial strategies. You might be going back to old creative projects you left abandoned. And sextiling Uranus in the house of social media, websites, writing, communicating, and jolts of success, surprising positive success here with the flow to Mercury, which says mercurial success, which is commercial success, which is financial success, to do with creative, artistic, or entrepreneurial endeavors, as well as a surprising amount of glow on a wealth star in the land of social media. If you are somebody who works in a brick and mortar business and there's a glow up in your work environment, perhaps there as well. Mars is in the house of good fortune. You could compete for a new job in a local environment or online and get the job. That would be very, yes, January 21 to 22. Issue around there. Look at this other story going on here. We have a Pluto Sun conjunction going on, and this is going to be obviously happening for you around the 20th, 21st, 22nd. This energy is going to ask you to really dive into a deeper layer of understanding about how you can be your own worst enemy, how your own self-sabotaging strategies and patterns are the problem, and you need to let them go. Okay, that's very much what that probably is, excavation of your own karma, Akashic records, and childhood patterns that have held you back. And Jupiter is supporting that, digging into the childhood stories and letting them go because they're no longer serving you. January 25th to the 27th, a mini trine, which I call a grace triangle, forms in the sky. Let's get the triangle up and then move it back to your sign if I can. And so see this little triangle here? This triangle brings luck, goodness, grace, harmony, ease, flow, and gratitude. Got it? Jump on it. It's you, exalted Venus, now besieged, right? I got to remind you. So after the 18th, she gets stuck between Saturn and the North Node. So in a sense, it's a bit of a pause. It's a bit of a rock and a hard place. You'll see good things happen, around this time, January 25th to 27th. But not everything will be perfect. And you might say after February 1st, what is seated here might flow, and she gets out from underneath two thugs holding her in between, right? You want to see this here, this time as an element of a liberation, breakthrough, freedom regarding travel, writing projects, social media, businesses that you do online, digital income and revenue, or breakthrough regarding a learning opportunity, a course of study. Mars is, of course, very excited about everything in the fifth house because it's where we have passion. And so a passionate breakthrough that's very emotionally fulfilling to do with exalted, realistic goals that you're creating. And honestly, it could be other people too. Some excitement with your child and a trip, an excitement with your romantic partner and a travel opportunity. But it's very, very flowing, very beautiful, very positive energy. It's a good energy to seed a new project, to start a new business endeavor, to build a website, all of that kind of stuff. All right, on January 28th to the 31st, Sun will trine Jupiter. Sun Jupiter is always positive. It's very much growth, expansion, luck, and opportunity in all ways possible. But this has to connection to your home, property, real estate. And Jupiter is traveling through a part of the sky that connects to the past. What past does he connect to? Mostly he's really traveling the sky where he was in September. So what things happen in September to do with home, land, property, real estate, or what you're doing in the home? And now you're going to have this flow of opportunity from the 12th house. Now, because it's a childhood thing, this is a golden opportunity to completely release childhood trauma and issues from your ancestral line and your Akashic record clearing and get rid of the junk in the trunk that holds you back. Time to disavow, to find your sovereignty. But if that's not that, you could have something with a foreigner, foreign shore, foreign land, distant land, connected to land, property, real estate, luck, and opportunity. Okay. And maybe you could get an opportunity to buy a house or sell a house under this influence that feels very fortunate. But again, we got something about distant shores with the sun, far off places, or backroom deals and negotiations. So let me know what happens there. And then Venus comes into Neptune, which is simply like, bring me a higher love, one with the divine, spiritual attainment, visions, unconditional love, compassion, and empathy on steroids. If you date under this influence, you're going to meet somebody that has a spiritual connection to you, and you could have a glow up in your own beingness here. It could be a creative windfall. You could be like deeply enchanted with divine inspiration. You might channel something that's going to blow you away. You become one with this energy. And yes, you've been practicing this since 2011, because, that's when Neptune entered here, and Venus every year said, hi, Neptune. But this is with the North Node of fate, destined, expansive, fated opportunity for you to expand in a once in a lifetime way into a deeper, harmonious connection to the divine mind, unconditional love, enlightenment, compassion, etc. And to date under this for somebody who's in a dating mode is very beautiful, celestial positivity. Finally, on the 29th of the month, we have a new moon in Aquarius. Let's see if I can cue with, I always lose you guys because it's the way the sky is structured. Let's go back by an hour. Okay, let's try my best to get you back. All right, so just trust me on this. I'm not even going to bother to cue to the 29th, but Mercury will be with the sun right here, okay? And the moon will be here. And at 9 degrees of Aquarius, you have a new beginning. If you have any way that you've been stuck with addiction, self-undoing, maybe ancestral patterns that hold you back, fresh start, new beginning, blow it out of the water. But there's another meaning to the distant shores of the 12th house. You can make money there. And it's money you make because you're intersecting your financial gain with a non-domestic entity. You work for another company that's digital, it's international. You have international borderless income and revenue, barter and trade because you're working online. And so your PayPal, Stripe accounts are there in the 12th house. This is a fresh start, a new beginning. This is Mercury, the god of commercial success, in a seated place of a new start with Pluto, the god of riches. If you want to start making money in a digital and entrepreneurial way, yes, 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 yes. It's 6 months to unfold, okay? Now, technically, Pluto, sun, moon, could be the death or illness or hospitalization and news that somebody is going to be in a hospital setting. Who? Well, Pluto, I don't know. Sun, I don't know. Somebody that you know may be coming off the new moon, and that will be more likely in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, right? Like literally January the 29th, add 2 weeks. The deeper meaning that unfolds over 2 years is going to put you in a deeper soul search, a deeper connection to divine knowledge and wisdom as well. But as a solar figure is most likely here, right? So sort of a darkening of the lunar light, solar figure, Pluto, death and rebirth, Mercury, information, news. It could be literally picking up the phone or hearing that great grandpa Joe is in the hospital, or some elderly male figure is in a health challenge. Is a very practical way to see that. Thanks for listening. I feel like I got you done in, I hope, a decent time frame. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you want to check out my Patreon community, it's cheap. It's $5 for the cheapest tier. Every month you can quit when you want. There's Zoom meetings with me. We do calls, we do teachings, we do horary charts together. But you won't get a reading with me if you want one unless you're in my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter email list, or unless you are in the Patreon community, because I will announce it to them first, and there will be spots in February, March, and April that open, and they will be gone within an hour or two of me announcing that. So the only way I can get you in, if you want to try to see me, is to be on one of those places where I exist outside of YouTube. And number two, my new Substack, the Pluto Chronicles, I'm healing my chironic wound in the House of Writing, because I'm an Aquarius rising and Chiron's been fucking me over there since 2019. Excuse my language. I'm a big swearer at home. Thanks, Mom. My mom used to say F a duck. I am going to be telling you, I'm enjoying this place called Substack, and I'm writing these deep dives into what Pluto is doing as he moves to Aquarius. And right now I even have an all signs write-up for how to deal with the Mars-Pluto opposition to Pluto during December, January. So go check out Substack too. Thanks, guys. It's free. Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao. Have a wonderful January.